I don't believe in ghosts. That's why it took me too long to realize one was protecting me. I'm the kind of person who has a spreadsheet for her finances, a color-coded calendar, and a perfectly rational explanation for everything. The cold spot by the window? Old building, poor insulation. The sound of someone turning book pages at 2 a.m.? Neighbors. The single word that appeared on my bathroom mirror this morning, written in condensation so precise it looked calligraphed. Careful. I told myself it was condensation patterns, random moisture, coincidence. I stepped out my front door 30 seconds later and narrowly missed a cyclist running a red light at full speed. I went back inside, stood in front of that mirror for a long time. Then I uncapped my lipstick and wrote, "Thank you." I still didn't believe in ghosts, but I was starting to believe in him. His name, I eventually figured out, is Dorian. He didn't offer it. I found it scratched faintly into the baseboard behind the radiator, like something left behind during a very long wait. D. Ashworth, 1923. The notes on the mirror became a ritual. Not daily, he seemed to choose them carefully, as if each word cost something. The man at your office, he takes credit for your work. You know this. You were humming again today, the Chopin. You don't realize you do it. You slept 12 hours. Good. I started writing back every night. Not questions. I learned quickly he deflected questions about himself. Just thoughts. Observations. The strange intimacy of narrating your life to someone who can only answer in morning fog. I got the promotion. No thanks to Marcus. I know. I watched you not gloat. It was impressive restraint. I laughed out loud at that, alone in my bathroom at 7 a.m., and then stopped laughing because the air around me felt warm in a way that had nothing to do with the radiator. But something outside was changing. I noticed the cracks first, hairline fractures spreading through the older buildings on my block, with no seismic explanation. Then the dreams started. A vast, dark architecture under the streets, something ancient and geometric, and deeply, wrongly awake. I'm an urban planner. I know this city's bones better than almost anyone. I wrote, "Dorian, something is wrong with the ground." A full day of silence. Then, I know, it was wrong in my time too. That is why I stayed. He told me in pieces, the way you tell someone a terrible thing when you care whether it breaks them. In 1923, Dorian Ashworth was a surveyor. He found something beneath the city, a network of tunnels predating any known construction, lined with symbols he couldn't read, and a sealed chamber at the center that hummed. He reported it. His supervisor buried the report. A week later, Dorian was dead. Officially, a fall. Unofficially, something he still refuses to write plainly. The chamber was waking up. The cracks were its breathing. And my building, apartment 4C specifically, sat directly above it. "Why here?" I wrote. "Why my apartment?" He took until morning to answer. The handwriting when it came was slower than usual, more careful. "Because 100 years ago, I stood in this exact room and promised I would not let it open. And then I died before I could keep it, and you moved in. And I decided, perhaps selfishly, that you were someone worth keeping a promise for." I read it 4 times. Then I sat down on the bathroom floor, back against the tub, and stayed there for a while. I still didn't fully believe in ghosts, but I was starting to believe in this. I presented my findings to the city council on a Thursday. The fracture patterns, the geological anomalies, the archival gaps I'd traced back to 1923. A room full of people who smiled politely and told me they'd look into it. I came home to find every mirror in my apartment dark, not fogged, dark, like something on the other side was pressing against the glass. Then one word appeared, not in Dorian's careful script, but in something older, something that felt carved rather than written. Too late. The building shuddered, deep, structural. The lights went out, and in the dark, for the first time, I felt a hand close around mine. Cold, yes, but unmistakably there, and Dorian's voice, not imagined but real, close and urgent in my ear. Sarah, I need you to run toward it, not away. Can you trust me? I still didn't believe in ghosts. I ran toward it anyway.
The chamber was everything he'd described, and worse. Ancient stone, symbols that hurt to look at directly, and at its center, something that was not quite a door and not quite a mouth, grinding itself open after a century of waiting.
He laughed. It sounded like someone remembering how. He guided my hands, barely touching, cold where his fingers nearly met mine, and I traced the symbols into the chamber floor with a piece of chalk he produced from a coat that hadn't existed in 100 years. My handwriting, his memory. The seal rewrote itself like a wound finally closing. The grinding stopped. The chamber went still. He looked at me in the quiet, and I looked at him, and neither of us said the obvious terrible thing, that he was still dead, that I was still living, that the distance between those two facts was the one we couldn't solve with chalk and stubbornness. I reached for him anyway. My hand passed through his. He closed his eyes like it cost him everything.
It's the archivist at the Historical Society who stops me on the way out, holding a folder with the careful excitement of someone who's found something he doesn't fully understand. "You were researching Dorian Ashworth," he says. "Funny, we just processed a new donation, personal effects from the Ashworth estate." He opens the folder, including a letter addressed to the future occupant of apartment 4C. He pauses. It's dated 1923, but the ink, our conservator says it's, well, fresh. I take the envelope. My name is on it. My name, which did not exist in 1923. I look up at the archivist, down at the letter, then, slowly, at the nearest window, where the glass has just barely begun to fog at its edges. I don't open it yet. I want to read it at home. He already knows what it says.